Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. And this is my spoiler talk / review of the April 2022 Easter special that was Doctor Who Legend of the Sea Devils. And as I just mentioned, this video will contain tons of spoilers. You have been warned. So the plot in a nutshell is the Doctor, Yaz and Dan, they travel to the 19th century where they witness the rise of the Sea Devils caused inadvertently by the Pirate Queen herself, Madame Chen, while she was in search of some lost treasure. I'll quickly talk about the Sea Devils here. There was quite a lot of anticipation for this returning villain since we saw the Next Time clip on Eve of the Daleks. And yeah, to me, they didn't disappoint. I thought they looked great. The sort of mixture, I still think it's a mixture of actual prosthetic costumes with a bit of CGI thrown into it. And yeah, it was kind of just a bit of a modern update for the Sea Devils in terms of a little bit of the technology, even though it's way back in the past. And yeah, I love the voice. I think Nicholas Briggs provided the voice of the Sea Devils in this adventure, and yeah, they just looked really menacing. They had like swords instead of just a little weird circular disc thing to shoot at, so that was quite good. And I thought it was quite clever how they got around the sort of the violence with the Sea Devils slaughtering quite a lot of people on land, and obviously they couldn't see, show that on post watershed, sorry, pre watershed on BBC. So yeah, I thought it, looked a little bit clunky in a little bit of areas, but I thought they got around this logistical problem quite well and made them look quite menacing. So this special is probably one of the shortest specials in modern Doctor Who. I think it was only clocking in at just something along the lines of 46 to 48 minutes. And yeah, it definitely showed. It was very sort of snappy and punchy, but I do feel like it was a little bit rushed at times, especially sort of like when it got towards the last sort of 15 to 20 minutes. It kind of like lots of exposition and then just the fallout from it all. So a good build up, a little bit rushed in the middle, and then just swashbuckling adventure all the way to send everyone home happy, really, in that sort of sense. And I felt like that with the characters, really. Um, Dan, Yaz, Doctor had quite a lot of bits to do. They all had their little moments. I would say out of the least probably was Dan. He was definitely there for comedic value, and John Bishop played that well. I did like his pirate costume. I quite liked that Yaz pulled a trick on him to dress like that. But I did like the new style costumes that the Doctor and Yaz was wearing. I thought that was pretty good. Something that I think they should probably do more in modern Doctor Who, instead of obviously wearing things like that. It's kind of a bit like the Talons of Wen Chiang with the Doctor having the sort of detective sort of thing, or Terror of the Zygons with the kilt and everything else with that. So yeah, it's one of those that you don't need to see all the time, but it's a nice refreshing change when you do see it. I quickly mentioned Madam Cheng. I wasn't quite sure what her role was going to be, really, but straight away all I can say is definitely had more involvement than Mary Seacole did in War of the Sontarans. Madam Cheng was definitely more involved in this story, and yeah, it was, she is a pirate obviously, but there was just keeping it night, there's like a shades of grey rather than black and white hero villain. So yeah, kind of had the Pirates of the Caribbean vibe to her, and yeah, I enjoyed her involvement in the story. I thought it was just serves quite well when you lay down that the Sea Devils are the main villains for this special. To have someone in a sort of a more grey historical character, which to be fair, Chibnall has done fairly well. He's definitely a fan of bringing in some historical figures. So yeah, it's probably not one of the top, but definite improvement to, comparing it to Mary Seacole. Obviously, I wasn't quite sure how this episode was going to play out, but the one thing that I was hoping for, and at the very least get something out of, was the sort of the romantic sort of will they, won't they, with Yaz and the Doctor, the Thasmin, how did it all go down? Well, yeah, they had some really nice moments. There was a scene with Yaz and the Doctor. They were in the TARDIS. They went back in time and went to the bottom of the seabed, and yeah, that looked really, really good. And the Doctor sort of mentioning, oh, I'm not bad for a date. So it kind of sort of threw that into there, and you had that sort of little sparking moment going off. But overall, spoilers, obviously, and the Doctor lets Yaz down gently. And yeah, I thought that was probably the right way to go with the time that they are now got, because we've only got one episode left, and I'll talk about the next time bit a little bit later in this video. But let's just say it's packed enough as it is. So I'm glad that they kind of resolved this story arc, really. And it was kind of, it was sad that the Doctor had to let Yaz down gently. But I like to sort of, like, I can't stick with, with a certain person. This is what the Doctor said to Yaz: I can't stick with any one person, because I know it's just gonna hurt. And yeah, we've seen that. Obviously we've seen that, with Rose and Donna and River's song. What stopped this from being good to great is there was a moment where the Doctor said, if it was anyone, you're one of the greatest people that I know. And yeah, it's nice to sort of hear that. But because Yaz, sadly, as a character, nothing against Mandip Gill whatsoever, but as a character, she's just not that well developed, So when the Doctor does say this, it just felt like straight away you're already thinking, well, if you're comparing her to, let's say, Donna or Rose or even River Song, the Doctor's mentioned, I was married before, and would you put her, Yaz, in the same, just character wise, as the same pedestal as those other names that I've just mentioned, Sarah Jane, for example? No, I don't think you would. So for me, personally, I think it's all down to timing as well. I think if they did have another year and they developed this a little bit further, if Yaz was staying on, which I don't think she is. I think Mandip Gill has quietly confirmed that she's not going to be sticking around after the centenary special. Then yeah, I think the only sort of way to really make Yaz stand out is exit via Adric style. Let's bump her off, eh? Let's give that heartfelt sort of crushing emotion for the Doctor. And yeah, it's, it'll just give that memorable sort of send off for Yaz. Do you agree with me? Let me know in those comments about, if we're not going to get Thasmin, would you like to see Yaz go Adric style? I also enjoyed the Doctor in this special. Jodie Whittaker had some really fun one-liners. My favourite had to be "No Ship Sherlock." I know it's just very cheesy. I imagine quite a few people groaned at that line, and probably there was another sort of sea pun a little bit later when there was at the Sea Devils base. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It shows another side to Jodie, and it kept it fun and light. And I think that's kind of what the job was in this special. We're down to one more episode now with the Doctor, and that next time little clip, that teaser clip, as I said earlier, is packed to the rafters. I feel that we're going to get something really good in this centenary special. We still don't know the title of the episode yet, but wow, we're getting some big returns. The Daleks, the Cybermen with the lone Cyberman, the Master, which was not really much of a no-brainer for me on that one. We've got some returning characters from the Doctor Who Flux. We've got Vinda. And we also have the big orange jumpsuit looking like it, the Doctor Who modern tradition of the space travel suit. That's coming back. But the big news is, obviously it was rumoured quite some time ago, early this year, about Ace. That's confirmed. Sophie Eldred is returning as Ace. But we're also getting Janet Fielding. Tegan Jovanka is returning to Doctor Who. We had a little moment where she was on the phone to Ace, and saying, I'm so of the Doctor for 40 years. And Ace replied, it's been 30 years for me. And then you just see the next shot of them blasting out rifles, and God knows who they were firing at. Obviously got Kate and Unit returning. Yeah, this is going to be a whopper of an episode. But back to this episode, I'm going to give Legend of the Sea Devils a TARDIS rating of 6 out of 10. At the end of the watching this episode, I just had this vibe of, like I mentioned in my review of Planet of the Dead, it was, it wasn't anything overly to write home about, but it was just a fun, light, entertaining story. And that's kind of what you want in Easter. So sort of looking back, would you probably sort of, go from either the Daleks and probably skip to the Centenary special? Some of you might do that. Or if you just wanted to just kick back and enjoy yourself for 50 minutes and just take your brain out, sort of adventure, then this is the one for you. It was great to see the Sea Devils back in action once again. I thought all the characters worked quite well together. Production values was superb as always. I've always been rating the production values, especially in the Chibnall era of Doctor Who. And yeah, there was a few sort of odd, clearly CGI effects with the Doctor and Dan sort of skipping stones across the water. That was clearly CGI stones. And the statue of the Sea Devil statue, all the cracks in that statue all breaking apart, that was just clearly CGI as well. And there was a few obviously logistical problems that they had to resolve, and it's a pass for me. But once you sort of see it, you kind of see it. So, for example, the sets, especially Madam Cheng's ship, look really good, but clearly they were still filming during the pandemic, and obviously they couldn't have probably loads of people on set, and that kind of. You couldn't overly, you want to utilize set to your maximum, but probably just couldn't, unfortunately. And yeah, sort of maybe just running out of budget, where when the Doctor and Yaz was swinging into the ship, you could quite see him. You just saw the ending part, and then when they were swinging back onto this Sea Devil ship, all you just heard was the Doctor say Geronimo. They clearly didn't have the budget to have another action shot go across, which is a shame, but it's a free pass at the end of the day. But yeah, as I said, it's just a fun, entertaining story. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts to Legend of the Sea Devil. Did you enjoy this special? And are you looking forward to the Centenary special, the final episode for Jodie Whittaker's era of Doctor Who? And again, say what you want about this era, whether you like it or whether you don't like it as much. I mean, I'm super pumped for this regeneration. That last shot of the Doctor shouting out Yaz, where it seems like she's regenerating, definitely gave me goosebumps and put the hairs not up here, but definitely on the back of my neck standing. And yeah, can't wait. October. I'm assuming it's going to be sort of October time when this Centenary special is broadcast. Well, it can't come soon enough in my eyes. Next time on Timey Wimey Review, to keep this nautical theme going, I will be reviewing the 5th Doctor story, Warriors of the Deep. But until then, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed this spoiler talk review. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that cloister bell for more notifications. But as the good Doctor once said, I wish this will go on forever.